My name is Rhapsody and welcome to Othercide. Othercide is a horror-noir, turn-based tactical roguelite from Lightbulb Crew wherein you play humanity's last hope against suffering and death, the Daughters. I'd like to begin this video by saying thank you to Lightbulb Crew for sponsoring this series. Othercide is now out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, is coming to Switch later this summer, and can be purchased from the link at the top of the description below the video. I've played a very small amount of this game on my own in order to make sure that I wasn't just going to be stumbling over myself the entirety of this video. So let's jump into a new campaign. Do you want to play the tutorial again? I think I will. I think it'll make it really easy for me to explain the different mechanics in this game as I kind of just follow the tutorial explaining them. From behind the veil they grow. Those you should always beware. In muted darkness they flow, those who feed on your nightmare. The Book of Nostra, on the Others. For centuries, the Mother has protected the veil, preventing it from shattering. Her journey has led her to the deserted streets of the city, rotted by the plague, where a greater threat awaits.
He needs us. The Other has come for the Chosen One, and soon the veil will break. The suffering cannot continue.
Are you just acting without thinking? You might already notice, not just from the thumbnail, but also from the opening main menu screen, as well as from the cutscenes you've seen so far, that this does something that I really enjoy in noir aesthetic, which is an accent color. They have red as the accent color in this.
Festers within him. The edge of reality frays. Each battle takes more and more out of me. The Other could shred the veil and devour our world. Will you stay with me until the end? I'll give what I can, what I have left. Let it go here and no further.
Now, unfortunately, because that line happens before a tutorial, you can kind of guess what might happen to our main protag here.
Watch, my friend. Once I move to strike, the first will fall.
Okay, health points. So you can see up there in the top left, these are the health points your unit dies if their health reaches 0. We currently have 4,900 health points. Below that are our action points. They are AP. Most actions cost AP. Some of them cost your health. Move to the red square. The further you move, the more action points it will cost you. So you can see here two different barriers. There is the barrier for as far as I can move on 50 AP, like anywhere in this kind of general vicinity. And then there's the second barrier of how far I could move if I used all of the 100 HP, AP rather. We'll see exactly what the consequences are for using more than 50 AP a little bit later.
The Other sends more against us.
Select the attack skill. Instant action skills are played immediately and they cost you AP. So we'll use a slash for 35 AP. Strike the enemy, dealing up to 792 damage in one attack. To an enemy that had 500 health, so it's an insta-kill. Timeline. So the timeline is one of the most unique aspects of this game. You'll see it always at the bottom of the screen. The timeline orders all units by their initiative and moves forward whenever a unit ends their turn. A unit can play when it reaches 0 on the left side of the timeline. So the reason that there isn't a rigid structure system of like my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, is because this system is about enabling you more control over when the turns are taken. We can also end our turn. Our unit will move to 50 on the timeline, not 100, which is the end of the timeline. You can see 50 here, 100 would be at the very end, which relates to how much energy we've spent this turn, or how much AP we've spent this turn, rather. your unit will move to 50 on the timeline and recover all the AP for their next turn. Let's end our turn. So the Curse Therapist has just been summoned and is queuing up a delayed shot, a delayed action called Massive Shot. Timeline, delayed skills immediately end the unit's turn, and their powerful effects are activated later on in the timeline. So you can see that the Cultist is preparing a delayed Massive Shot, and you can see here in the timeline that as I start taking my next action after this turn, the delayed shot is going to go off. So I need to try and interrupt it before then. So I'm going to use the Shield Charge skill, which dashes up to 5 tiles, dealing 392 damage, and delays a target by 30 initiative units. So by delaying their next action, it will cancel their delayed attack, Massive Shot. Nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't get the kill. Interrupt skills. Interrupt skills can stop a single enemy attack and immediately launch a counterattack. They cost health points, though. So this is what I was talking about, saying that some of your skills are going to cost health points. We've got the Vengeful Stance here. It'll interrupt the next melee attack and launch a devastating counterattack to the enemy. So any stances have to be activated on yourself. Perfect. We're ready. And we'll end the turn again with 50 AP. So the Plague Doctor gets summoned. In its turn, it has enough action points to make its way to me and then attack me. However, it immediately gets riposted. We get in a bit of a sticky situation here, but it's the tutorial, so you know that they're doing it so they can show you something.
I can stop the attack before it happens.
So you can. We have Spear Tornado, which is a area of effect triggered on myself after a delay of 10 initiative units. So this is a delayed attack. So if someone was going to act, 2 units later, they would actually act before this went off. But being a delayed attack that only has 10 on its delay, it's pretty quick to actually happen. Deals up to 592 damage, delays enemies in the area by 70 initiative units, and then immobilizes them for another 50 initiative units. It also ends your turn, again, because it's a massive attack. It's the delayed action. However, this turn, we can see that we're spending 60 AP, more than the 50 that we've ever spent before in a single turn. So we're about to see the impact of that. So we take our delayed action. You can see that I'm up on 90 in the initiative bar. I then moved to 60 afterwards. I went to 100 because I burst. Burst is the term for having exceeded using 50 AP in a single turn. Okay, 3 summons. So I think this one is pretty clear. Action point burst. Here we go. Actually, it'll describe this to us here. Your unit will go into a burst if they start using their last 50 AP. This pushes your unit back to 100 on the timeline, so effectively you're taking your next turn now instead of waiting a turn for it. So be careful to burst only when you need an extra move, or to deal a killing blow to a wounded enemy. Oops, I skipped over a description immediately after that, my bad. Dodge is the percentage chance a unit has of avoiding attack. And then the armor, you can see up here the dodge chance and then the armor chance below it. Armor is a unit's protection. It is just a straight reduction of damage taken, right? So if I have 70 armor and then the enemy hits me for 90, I take 20 damage. The timeline is key to winning battles. Power for delayed abilities, end your unit's turn immediately and activate later. Interrupt skills, prepare your unit to block an attack and strike back on their turn. Some skills delay the next time an enemy will play to give you more control, and using the last 50 AP will provoke a burst, pushing your unit to 100 on the timeline. So at this point, we've introduced pretty much all of the in-combat main mechanics that we're going to be exploring. That's why I wanted to go through the tutorial. I know it's taken a little bit, but we're here. I believe in you, control me freely now, so we just have to live as long as we can now. I am going to start off by slashing the person directly in front of me for more life than they have. Okay. And then the Shield Charge is just in range to go for this target near the bottom. And that's the one doing the massive attack. Gotta kill it before I get a teardrop. Then we also have 15 AP left over. And the Curse Therapist is directly next to me. It has Snapshot. What skills does it have? Just Massive Shot? And Snapshot is evading a nearby daughter, so that would probably be like a riposte attack. I'm gonna guess that this Curse Therapist isn't even gonna hit me. So I'm just gonna end my turn. Yeah, it's gonna run away, but unfortunately the other one is gonna get an action before... Yikes. Yeah, it got summoned directly next to me. That's unfortunate. Also, you can see there that I was flanked, which increased the damage that I was taking. Don't love that. Thankfully, we have a huge health pool here, so it's not absolutely tragic this is happening. Deals up to 402 AoE damage, each 15 initiative units up to 3 times. I mean, but that will target me as well. Can it target me? Let's find out. So the first one goes off, killing 2 adjacent enemies. The second one goes off, killing the other enemy that was adjacent. That one that's super far from me, I don't think it actually queued up. Did it queue up a massive shot? Yeah, no, it didn't. So I had the time to respond to it. Plague Butcher. Unfortunately, that one is going to be doing a melee attack. There we go. So let's see. Shield Charge's range is just short of them, so I'm going to move forward 2 spaces. Then I'll Shield Charge the Massive Attacker. Yep. Now, if I hadn't already burst, at this point, I would just go into a Vengeful Stance. But since I have burst, I'm just going to use the Slash to try and finish this enemy. Sadly, that's not going to be enough. Oof. So I'm going to Slash, and then I'm going to use the Vengeful Stance afterwards. Because this enemy is definitely going to melee strike me next turn. So instead of taking, you know, the 300 damage they would do, I take 20 damage to my own ability, and then kill them in the turn. There we go. Instant action for reinforced armor. Armor up 170. Okay, that means that you are going to take like 2 hits for me to kill at this point. I'm going to dash across there and then just slash, slash, slash. Actually, that enemy is so far in the timeline right now, but maybe I Halo Shards. Yeah, let's try that. So we get the first trigger for probably 300. No, 150. Ugh. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. To be fair, double slashing, like, 1 more slash wouldn't have been enough either. I forgot that that's another delayed action, so it immediately ends my turn in order to activate it, so I didn't have the ability to go into Vengeful Stance afterwards.
The chosen one.
So this one says the child, but you can see that it has 10,000 health.
But we want to harm you very much.
Oh, this scarecrow looking creep.
I have failed. You most of all. I fought with every bone and sinew. All I am, I leave to you. Take it. My blood is my legacy. May it spill forth into an army to rend suffering from its host.
So the child is the host of suffering. I mean, the city was destroyed, the veil fractured, thousands of souls perished, swallowed by the void.
My voice destroyed a city. It's not enough. How soon will you hatch? I want you in this world. I want to see what you can do. To those that hurt me. To those you will hurt. I can't wait.
So it's pretty clear that the part of fracturing the veil there, time and space converged. Reality and unreality were on the edge of destruction. For the first time, an other was close to breaking through.
Do not despair. My life lights your path. Do you remember our journey together? This time, let me guide you. You will wield my memories like a sword, and with them, grow our army.
God, it's so striking. The visual aesthetic. The visual aesthetic, as opposed to the auditory. I mean, I guess auditory aesthetic is a thing. And thus, they were trapped in an everlasting loop from recollection to recollection. Daughters of the Red Mother die only to rise again. The Age of Shattering. 1897 and 1929. Simultaneously.
This dark corner of existence is a harbinger. Soon all will follow. The very fabric of our reality is threatened. My last breath is near. My daughters, you are of me. Put an end to suffering.
Okay. I'll hold on this screen for just a second, because multiple different times there I wanted to talk about the lore implications of what I was seeing on the screen and try and make sense of the story as it's being initially presented to us. Many games of the kind of like noir and horror throw you into the world and then let you pick up pieces of it as you go along, the kind of unfamiliarity with the setting being a large amount of what they use to inspire the fear. I will note, for a horror game, it's not that like horror. Like, it's, again, a horror aesthetic, rather than necessarily, like, being a horror genre trope, like a game that will actually scare you. So the child, we are named in the start there the mother. Obviously, all of the characters, as I mentioned before, that we're going to be playing over the course of the campaign are called the daughters, and the host of the suffering, who is trying to bring the other through the veil by having fractured it, and by having killed you, the mother, is called the child. So there's a kind of like implied family. And also, I failed you most of all, is said by the mother as the child kind of tears the veil and destroys the city. So I wouldn't be entirely surprised if that was like a failed attempt to make a better world kind of thing. Othercide is a game about sacrifice and tough choices. Progress is auto-saved, so there's no turning back. The enemies in Othercide are lethal, and every mistake you will cost you dearly. Your daughters will die, and you will lose, only to rise stronger again. Hence the roguelite elements I was talking about in the very start. The game expects players to fail, but failure is not the end. After ending a run, you restart with additional bonuses, and even the ability to resurrect fallen daughters, for a cost. The laws of reality have no bearing on the others,
From
the
this
Book of
side
Nostrum.
of the veil, I can give you my daughters, birthed from my soul. You will need them to fight.
This is the
What
chrono map.
memory has this agony uncovered?
From here, you will be able to manage your daughters in the inner void, select your next mission from the attack menu, and end the day. let's enter the inner void to germinate a new daughter. Now, you might be getting a little bit of a sense tingling in your head and go, hang on. I've seen some of these elements before. This kind of reminds me of Darkest Dungeon a little bit. It definitely seems to have taken some inspiration from Darkest Dungeon. Not only for the kind of like, you know, horror, not horror kind of aesthetic, but also the whole idea of you have multiple different attacks that you could launch. You can choose between them. You've got an inner void. The inner void is the management of my characters. So I have a Blade Master and a Soul Slinger. These are my different classes and stuff like that. We'll come back to this later. Oh wait, never mind. It's not going to let me come back to this later. It immediately wanted me to come here. So here you can manage your daughters. Can I leave? Yes, I can. Okay, I'll come back in a sec. So that is our character management. Then we also inventory management. Then we have the next day. So our units are exhausted after they go out on an attack. So we have to rest until the next day, and we can prepare. We can see a timeline vaguely here on the bottom that'll show us the important things that are going to happen across the course of the upcoming week. And then finally, next recollection. You can start a new recollection at any time. This is a new game, effectively. This gives you more shards with which you can activate remembrances, bonuses. So those are bonuses that you are going to be able to activate using the resources that you get from recollections. That will give you the bonus in the second run that they were talking about in the third run, right? To activate powerful ongoing bonuses, is I believe what they said in the game. Okay, in the inner void, we are going to manage the daughters. We can see that we already have Clemence and Miracle, a Soul Slinger and a Blade Master. So let's enter the birthing pool and manage a new daughter. So we can germinate a daughter for 200 Vitae. Vitae is one of our resources in the game. You can see it up there in the top left. Victoire. All right. It is time for me to pull one of the names from the fourth wall tier. What name are we going to roll this time? Okay. Cool. This is going to be Pygood. So we saw we already have a Blade Master, a Soul Slinger, so we could take a Shield Bearer here. However, I really like Soul Slingers. I like the range that they have. Let's have a look. Blade Master excels in melee duels. The Blade Master is a powerful, agile sword fighter. She's quick and deadly, but also more fragile than her sisters. The Soul Slinger supports her sisters from afar, and then the Shield Breaker protects her sisters. So we'll have a look at the descriptions for those as well. The Soul Slinger can attack at range and has skills that help her sisters. So you can see here, especially with the two handguns, this is very much a ranged class. And then the Shield Bearer has more defense than her sisters and is capable of controlling most enemies with her shields. All right, Pygood, you'll be a Shield Bearer here.
The others are converging, warping reality. You must stop suffering from feeding. Go. Close the first synapse.
So while I can immediately go and close that first synapse, no, wait. Never mind, it's not going to let me go to the inner void. Right, okay, it's still tutorializing my first day here. Synapses. New missions or synapses appear each day. Beat a synapse to close it. So we'll select that synapse. Actually, can I go back out here and use the inner void? No, okay, I was going to germinate more daughters there, but guess we'll probably end up doing that next episode at this rate. Here you can view your mission details and choose the daughters you want to send. So we can see over there in the top left, the thing we have to do is just hunt all creatures. We can see in the top right, kind of like a little bit of information about the mission. We have an open map. There are two different threats here, the Curse Therapists and Plague Doctors. So I got to make sure that I stay far away from the Curse Therapists as well as have the ability to interrupt their massive shots. And the Plague Doctors, I just want to get up close and personal and end them as quickly as I can. So let's select each of our daughters here. Great.
Farewell, daughters.
With the other's influence reaching far beyond the veil, we must... Dang. Flanking behavior. While a unit is engaged in melee combats, attack coming from the flank or the back will hurt
How
more.
many have died to appease suffering's ambition? How many more?
Alright, let's have a quick look around the map to see the location of our enemies. That's the Plague Doctor that's acting on 39 in the initiative queue at the moment. And then, yeah, down here we have our 2 Curse Therapists. Okay. So would I even be able to... You're a Blade Master. You've only got Imbued Blade at the moment. Deals up to 832 damage after 30 initiative units ends our turn. So 832 is enough to kill a Curse Therapist. In fact, both of those Curse Therapists are probably dead to a single attack. Plague Doctor, though. Imbued Blade is 25. Interesting. So I'm actually just going to dash all the way up here and then Imbued Blade you. Because that'll activate 9 units before your turn and it'll kill you. So yes, that was a bursted action. You'll see here that I'm going to be bursting almost all of my actions. One thing that I experienced in the time that I said, you know, I was playing it off camera a little bit to understand a little bit more about the game so that I wasn't going to be stumbling entirely through this. One thing that I discovered is that burst, while the game tells you to be cautious about using it, is kind of a one-size-fits-all solution to a lot of stuff. So we're going to be using it ridiculously commonly here. So we have shot and an intercepting round. An intercepting round is interrupt the first attack on an ally within 10 range. 10 range is, that's a 5-foot square. That's a 5-foot square, right? So 10 range is 2. I think. I'm pretty sure about that. I might be wrong. 7 AP's worth of distance. 14 AP's worth of distance. Yeah, I think each space is 5. I'm almost certain on that, but now I'm actually second-guessing myself. Okay, the shots are 25. Okay, so if I go to the edge of my barrier here, and the shot... Oh, the shot doesn't land! No! I would need to be 1 space further for the shot to actually be able to land. That's okay. I actually think I can probably safely stand here this turn. Move myself back to 50 on the turn order. And then I'm going to have Clements come up to be in this corner. We have Lunge and Slam. Lunge is deal up to 206 damage 3 times, and then Slam is deal up to 190 damage and delay target by 25 initiative units, and you force the target to face the daughter. So if you use this 2 times on an enemy, which is all of your AP if you stand next to them at the start of the turn, so you don't have to even burst doing it 2 times, you can just delay an enemy by 50 units, and then 50 units later, you can do it again. It's very good. Specifically as long as you can prevent them from moving. And start your turn next to them. Alright. I'm gonna end that turn as well, actually.
One less to plague the innocent.
Got him. Alright. That's all up close and personal. My gosh, you came all up close and personal and then decided not to attack me? Why? Okay. So I'm gonna quickly move out to here, and then I'll take a shot against you. Half of your health bar. Okay, so with that, I will definitely take the second shot, bursting my character. If I need to, I can even do it again.
Progress has its setbacks.
Okay, since I'm already burst, which means I'm already going back to 100 on the timeline at the bottom, I may as well spend the extra AP I have this turn, so I might as well spend another shooting here. Okay, and then Pie Good is going to take that turn, and... yeah.
You can't stop progress. The cure will
Got
be
him.
found.
So we still have 1 enemy remaining, but you can see on the bottom in the timeline the kind of like zombie's hand rising out of the grave. That is because the enemy hasn't even spawned yet. So I'm going to end my turn, wait for it to spawn. Good to see you. Oh my god, Clements is going to have the easiest time with this enemy. We've got an Imbued Blade just lined up already. just gonna get Pygood to end her turn.
Progress
Got him.
has its setbacks.
The others may take many forms behind the veil. Nightmare
Their
creatures
brave
born.
daughter is spent. She must rest till a new day.
Dang it, my SSD just too powerful. I load these things too fast, so I can't even read the load screens. That was apparently a challenging hunt. I think the levels of difficulty that are demonstrated on the missions in this game start at challenging, because I'm pretty sure it goes challenging, hard, impossible. Because I haven't seen anything lower than challenging so far. Enemies killed 4, gathered Vitae 150, and then memories recovered 0. However, everyone leveled up.
Come what may, we will slow suffering's progress.
Alright. Let's go and level them up. Ooh, recollections. A recollection ends if you have no way to continue. So again, remember, recollection is like our new game. A recollection ends if you have no way to continue, if you get beaten by a boss, or if you choose to end it yourself. This will let you start a new try on the first day and gives you access to more shards, resources that you can gain from missions and can use to buy remembrances, powers ups. So that explained in a very succinct way the thing I tried to explain before we went into that previous combat. Select next day. You can only move to the next day after closing at least one synapse. Daughters need to rest. They cannot fight more than once per day. You can only move to the next day after closing at least one synapse. So I'm going to move to the next day. There we go. And then learn new skills. One of our daughters can learn a new skill in the Inner Void. In fact, all of them can, because they all move to level 2. These are the points at which we really start to get to kind of see the character identities. Observe her in more detail to learn about her. So I'll observe Clemence in more detail here. Here you can see the daughter's stats, traits, and skills. Skills can be unlocked by reaching new levels of mastery and upgraded with memories. Open the Traits tab in order to see the new trait. This daughter has earned a new trait reflecting what she's experienced. Traits cannot be removed or changed even in death. So you can think of this as kind of a quirk-ish kind of system. But the quirks weren't outside of some quirks, like the prismatic quirks and the Corvid quirks. This is in Darkest Dungeon. Those quirks weren't based on the interactions you had in your actual missions. However, these are. So let's quickly go across to traits, and we can see here that we are a Plague Seeker. We deal 10% extra damage against cultist creatures. This one, the minions of the plague shall fear her forever. And then we're also aggressive. We deal plus 50 damage. From her first steps, she's led the fight against evil.
Remember their courage.
Alright, so here's the cemetery. When a daughter dies, they are laid to rest in the cemetery. You can resurrect a daughter by using resurrection tokens. Any memories the daughter had equipped are lost on death. Memories are augmentations you can make to your abilities. We'll see those in a little bit as well. Resurrection tokens are rewarded by successfully completing rescue missions or when unlocking certain remembrances. So the stats on the character, we can see HP, AP, armor, dodge, initiative, push, resistance. Initiative, push, resistance. So I imagine your percentage chance to resist an enemy trying to push your initiative back. Mission start initiative, so we come in and we're acting on 61. End of turn delay is 50 and then 100, so 50 if I don't burst, 100 if I do. Apparently you have the ability to modify that, that's interesting. Damage bonus 160, critical chance, critical damage. These are kind of like standard stats that you would see.
Remember
Just
their
wanted to make sure that
courage.
they were all kind of self-explained. So now, new skill is available. Each time you unlock a new skill, you have to choose between 2 different abilities. So we can get Lightning Strike, dash 5 tiles up to dash 5 tiles to deal up to 386 damage for 30 AP, or we can get the immovable stance. React to an enemy finishing movement in melee range and deal up to 516 damage. So if an enemy was to approach me close enough to get into melee, I would be able to respond to that. I still want Lightning Strike. It's really, really, really good as a gap closer. Okay, and then let's focus on Miracle here. Shadow Round. Self. Deal up to 251 damage to an enemy in range, taking damage from an ally. So if I do this at the end of my turn, my next character that acts can hit an enemy in my area of effect or in my range, and then I'll, outside of my turn, take a pot shot at them as well. That seems really, really valuable. Although, Wrathful Rain, you have to target an empty tile. You deal up to 351 AoE damage, and then you move to an empty tile. You can see a little animation of it right there. Those animations are actually really, really handy for like quickly describing exactly what these do. I do want some AoE, but I'm gonna take the Shadow round. I think that's just gonna be really, really good for setting up combos. Now let's go for Pie Goods. Self increases armor by 180 and 40. Sorry, 440. So that's for 40 duration. And move up 15 initiative units on the timeline for each incoming attack. I like it. So you have the ability to stand kind of in the middle of a bunch of people, use Blacksmith's Grace, sap up all of their damage, and then respond very quickly thereafter. Or there's Shield Bash. Oh, we've seen this one. No, wait, have we? Deal up to 260 damage and push target 5 tiles. Enemies pushed into each other or an object take 120 damage. Oh, I'm really, really keen on doing that. It's got very, very large Into the Breach vibes. Using that to set up different actions and set up different combos and positioning. Oh, I love it. We're gonna have to take that. So over here we have the Codex, the Red Mother. What really happened? I cannot say. We've exchanged our realities, my dear friend. My body is gone, but my spirit follows you. Together we can stop the chosen one of suffering. Sever the link that unites them. I offer you my memories, shape our daughters, and send them to stop suffering before it's too late. I'm not going to read all of these here, but I thought especially like the character that is on the main screen is probably like relatively important to read that one. We've got the remembrances over here. Remembrances give you bonuses that last through a whole recollection. A remembrance remains unlocked once it is unlocked, even if you start a new recollection. Unlocking a remembrance doesn't activate it automatically. You must use shards to activate it. You earn shards every time you complete a mission, but your pool of shards is limited to those you had at the start of the recollection. So when I earn shards, I'm earning shards for my next recollection, not for my current one. Once you start a new recollection, you get access to all your earned shards. So I'm going to activate the one that we already have that is free, start a run with 2 memories, and then see if that actually shows me the memories that I'm looking for here. It does! Great! So you can see here that we have a equipable. You can equip a memory into a skill, and I'm going to equip into this skill, increase the damage of a skill by 50. Because this is a shot, a ranged attack that deals up to 99 damage 3 times. However, if I increase its damage by 50, it deals 150 damage 3 times. So it gets a huge benefit out of being applied to a skill that hits multiple times. So I'm going to give you Rush. And then... who wants the... I mean, Imbued Blade getting 20% extra damage seems like it'd be really useful. Like, you want to... Uh-oh! That's the sacrifice screen. The only way to heal a daughter is to sacrifice another daughter of an equal or higher level. The surviving daughter is healed and receives a fragment of the sacrificed daughter's soul, gaining some of its power. The sacrificed daughter will be laid to rest in the cemetery. Yeah, we don't want to do that. I'm fine, thank you. But we do want to go to the Blade Master, go to Imbued Blade, and give that 20% extra damage. 20% extra damage on something that's already dealing 916. That's 18. 180. Sorry, 180 extra damage. That's good enough. All right.
Remember
Now that we have all of our daughters well equipped here, we'll get ready to germinate some new daughters in the start of the next episode. One of our daughters can learn a new skill in the void. That's not true. I already did all of that. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Othercide. Again, there is a link at the very top of the description down below where you can purchase the game for yourself. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.